Hi, I'm Peter Vajda, and I'd like to take a few minutes to share with you some thoughts about suffering. So, in my experience in my own life, my experience with others in my life, my experience with clients, I often hear two very, very common refrains are, first, I don't want what I have, and second, I have what I don't want. So think for a second about some of the various aspects of your life. For example, the geographic location where you're living, where you're working, your relationship, the house, your living space, your health, your finances, your possessions, the organization in your environment, your weight, your sense of intelligence, sense of intellect. So as you reflect on these and other myriad aspects of your life, how much time and energy and effort do you spend on the notion of I don't want what I have and I want what I don't have? How much time do you spend obsessing and suffering because you're not happy with your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, psychological, personal, professional, financial states? How much time and energy and effort do you devote to the frustration and the resentment and the hoping and the wishing? And so the Buddhists speak to us about 3-4 kinds of suffering. The suffering associated with physical discomfort, the suffering associated with emotional discomfort, the suffering associated with change and impermanence of things, and the suffering associated with worry. And so again, the question is, to what degree do you experience the emotional and the physical pain of suffering from worry, from the impermanence of things, that you can't glom onto something and keep it forever, that things change? So what would it be like if we saw suffering as an opportunity? Not as an opportunity perhaps to go into a state of victimization or helplessness or hopelessness or woe is me, but it's an opportunity for personal, psychological, emotional growth, maturity, development, and healing. What would that be like if we asked ourselves, why is this happening for me when we experience our emotional discomfort, our physical discomfort, our mental discomfort? What would it be like if we were asking, why is this happening for me rather than to me? So if we're willing and if we're able, we can use our experiences around suffering as a signal to take some time to hit the pause button and reflect on what's really underneath our suffering, our experiences with our mental activity around suffering, our experiences with our physiological states around suffering, our experiences with our emotional states around suffering. Because at the end of the day, our suffering is never about it or him or her or them. And even though we may be triggered by it or him or her or them, the root cause of our suffering is within ourself. And it would behoove us, it would really support us to grow, to heal and develop if we took that time, if we tugged on our own sleeve and spent some time reflecting on what is going on within me, what is it. There are a couple of additional questions that can support your exploration and your inquiry. Is this the first time I'm feeling this unease? Does this experience remind me of a time when I was young? And how old do I feel? If you sense inside and breathe deeply, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to feel your chronological age, but you may feel the age of a younger you. And finally, where we all began, what am I holding on to and what am I attached to? So there it is. When you're experiencing pain at any time, it's probably because of something you're holding on to, something you're attached to. You can read books about this, you can watch videos about suffering, you can watch podcasts about suffering, You can talk about suffering. But when you discover it for yourself, by going deeply in and owning your truth, you're well on your way to the cessation of suffering. Simple, but not easy. But you can be your own best support by telling your truth to yourself about your relationship to suffering. So, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you reflect on some of the questions. I wish you well in your journey. And again, thanks and take good care.